let's talk about. So, how was your day?
My day was okay, man.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what we do at work is not what we look forward to.
Of
What we do
course.
after it is.
I'm
what
talking
we
about
look
your day,
forward
not
to.
work.
Day.
Yeah.
My day was good, man. Like a lot of things that I'm picking up recently, so a lot of curiosity there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, a lot of exciting things that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about you?
Same old. I look forward to those vadas, dude, in the morning. Yeah, that's the only thing that I look forward
Vadas
to.
and idlis, like I wake up and I'm like, okay, I need to shower as soon as I can so that I can make it to the idli place so that I can get those smooth, delicious idlis, man.
Mm.
But you know what makes or breaks all these things? Good chutney.
Yeah, dude.
Good chutney. I don't care how well the idli is. Idli on itself is just 50% of its work. Or a good vada on its own is just 50%.
Yeah.
If there's no good chutney complementing it, it's not a good
very
meal.
difficult,
It's not a
yeah.
good meal, yeah.
Yeah. That is, I think that's probably why we only go to this one particular place, no? To eat dosas.
Yeah, and if it's
Yeah.
not there, it's such a deal breaker. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not even going to see whatever else. We've
Yeah.
tried. Obviously, we give everyone a chance to see what this stuff is like. But
Yeah.
anyway, so
Yeah.
today is actually the day when yesterday's podcast is going up. So this is the second episode.
It's rendering as of now, and it's gonna be uploading while we are talking. So
Yeah.
let's see how that goes.
We're
If you happen to,
churning
sorry, what?
We're churning out.
Yeah. If you happen to see the first episode right now, like if you happen to see this episode and haven't seen the first episode, go check it out because we're gonna be talking about Phase 2 of Marvel, and the first one is basically about Phase 1, as in like what are our favorite scenes in that, and few things here and there.
Yesterday we were talking about the Marvel's Phase 1 cinematic universe, and we ended with Thor.
Yeah.
So today we're going to talk about the cinematic universe.
Ended with the Avengers, bro.
Avengers, yeah, right, Avengers. So today we're going to talk about the cinematic universe Phase 2. So a lot of movies in Phase 2, and like once they realized how successful the first movies were, like new characters were coming, and like Antman came in, Winter Soldier came in, so a lot of good characters that I really like.
Yeah.
So yeah, the first movie in the sequence is Iron Man 3. Such a disappointment.
Good way to start.
Good way to start, actually. Because if I'm honest with you, one of the major things that people are excited about Iron Man is the variety of the suits that he has. There's Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 40, there's like Star, there's Hulkbuster, so many different things. So with Iron Man 3, they went so much overboard with the number of suits that were there in that movie. It's like, why do you need so many things? It's just adding to the distraction and the clutter that you had to work on. So what do you think about that?
Frankly, that movie for me was like, okay, Iron Man 3 came out, I need to go watch it. Frankly, it was just that. And I was like, okay, what is there in this movie? But yeah, I mean, I particularly didn't like it. I think this is one of the movies which I saw only once, not because it was that good, but because it was that bad. Yeah, but if I were to choose one scene which I really like was the ending scene, where he just goes off to his house, which is basically now ruins, and he just picks up a screwdriver. That essentially tells who Tony Stark really is.
And he also goes through the operation where the arc reactor and all
Yeah.
the sharpeners that he had from
Yeah.
Iron Man 1 are basically out right now.
Yeah.
So he confronted his fears of them
So for me,
coming
it's
back.
it's like Iron Man knows, Tony Stark knows who he is to the core, and he doesn't need his suits to define him. He doesn't need to have a name or a mantle or a mask, for that matter of fact, to be who he is, because this is what he has become. He has explored on like certain parts of his life. Like this movie was centered around. I think it was centered around fatherhood. I think so.
Depends.
Because he became a father to that kid in a way. So he was trying to protect the kid and take things.
Yeah,
forward.
there's a lot of confusion for me, especially because how I see Iron Man 3 is that it's an evolution of Iron Man's technology. Like the entire, like Iron Man 1, the suit is a single piece where machine is, clipping it on him.
Yeah.
Iron Man 2 is more about the suits. And then in Avengers, you have the rocket suit where, when Loki throws him out of the window, it comes and it attaches to him. So there's a progression to Iron Man suit technology there. And Iron Man 3 really pushed it forward just in terms of suit technology, because he could just summon the suit and all the parts would come. So a lot of scenes are based that way. And like he had so many suits in that movie. And then after that, basically nanotechnology and everything comes up. But I don't think in terms of Iron Man's progression there, most of the movie doesn't make sense. I like the ending where he takes out the arc reactor and everything. But yeah, like it's a really confusing movie for me, and pretty much everybody.
Yeah. Why did you guys fuck up Mandarin, dude? Why?
Guy Pearce, man, such a good actor, but I don't know what happened in that movie. It's like really doesn't make sense to me, most of it.
Yeah, I mean, Mandarin could have been a really nice character, unless that guy actually is the Mandarin, and he's there in the jail cell, like just planning another.
And especially, man, what they did with Ben Kingsley is such a disappointment, man. What do you think?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They fucked up Mandarin so bad because
I was like
such
excited.
a great character, such a great actor, such a great character. Amazing build to this to the character himself, and then you're like, I'm just an actor. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's very quirky, very weird humor in that movie.
Humor is okay, but this is bad.
Yeah, it's bad anyway. So So what's the next movie after Iron Man 3 in the cinema?
My all-time favorite,
Captain America 2.
Yes, The Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
It's
not my all-time favorite, but it's second. I fell in love with that movie, man.
For me, it's one of the favorites. Of course, it's not the best. For me, not my favorite. My favorite would be something else. But
because see, Captain America's storyline for me is very fascinating, especially with the relationship that he has with Bucky and what Bucky has been through, his journey, and finally how he becomes Winter Soldier, and then how Captain America confronts him. It's like, okay, you can kill me because I know that you're my friend and you're not going to do anything to me. So he went to such extremes which defines Captain America the way he is. And also the fight scenes, man, they're so incredible. Because I waited so long for a movie where they show that a character or a person can actually be a ghost. And in Winter Soldier, they've shown that it's a ghost. So you remember that scene? Okay, I'm getting goosebumps talking about this right now. I'm getting goosebumps. So this scene, you remember where he's talking to that girl, Peggy Carter's sister or cousin, whatever. And Winter Soldier was there.
Nice.
And Captain America throws the shield at Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier is still running. The shield is flying back like towards him, and he just turns and like holds it. And Captain America is like, "What just happened? What did just happen?"
Yeah.
So that is one of my favorite scenes where Winter Soldier was shown like an actual ghost and like connecting with the storyline and the future Civil War movies and everything. Winter Soldier is such a good character, man. I really love him in that movie. What do you think?
I love the movie, dude. Like, I especially love the movie for who directed it. Like, it was the first Russo movie, I think. And man, they did justice to the character, they did justice to the story, they did justice to the plots. Everything was like really nice. Even though they're not my favorite directors from the cinematic universe, but they're really doing a good job with whatever they're doing. And for me, there are two scenes that I can go back to right now. One is, speaking of ghosts, when he goes to to his base camp and he recognizes his olden times and all of that, and there's like a secret pathway. He goes into the pathway and he finds Arnim Zora's right there. That was the moment when that's one moment where whatever you've been fighting for has come back, and I mean whatever you were fighting against has come back, and whatever you thought is completely false, because now S.H.I.E.L.D. is technically Hydra, and there's people who can come and backstab you at any point of time, wherever, whenever, however they want to, and it's really messed up because you don't know what to do. You're the only person who can trust your own self, and you don't know who to trust, and that's a very big thing for any person, for that matter, actually, even in day-to-day lives. The second scene that comes to my head is the elevator scene, man.
Oh my god, man, that's such a good scene. That is such a good scene.
Two reasons. One, pure awesomeness. One is that.
Wait, is that in that movie or is that in Civil War?
Winter Soldier,
Winter
bro.
Soldier, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
correct. I'm getting a little confused with the timeline there. Yeah. You know what other thing I like about Captain
So
America?
how do we start? Like that.
No. Before we start, does anybody want to get
Oh
down?
yeah, does anybody want to get
That
out?
is
Yeah.
such a boss move, man. That is such a boss move.
Yeah.
But here's the thing I like about Captain America movies. Captain America is a very important character. But in terms of revenue and all that, he's not a big money maker like Iron Man is. It's a simple fact. We have to accept that.
Yeah.
So what they try to do with Captain America movies is they're putting in so much more emphasis on Falcon and his team and how they work in coordination with one another because they're from a military background.
Yeah.
So I really love, especially what happens later in Civil War.
Yeah. What
So
it means to be a brother.
Yeah, it shows the chemistry between Captain America and Falcon, him and Black Widow also, because Black Widow is very convoluted with Captain America and Iron Man, and whose philosophy she shares.
Yeah.
So with Black Widow, there's good chemistry in that movie. With Bucky also, obviously, he's the center, right?
Yeah.
So I really love what they're doing with the characters with Captain America. But anyway, who knows what is going to happen right now?
That movie is all about reality and how anything can fall apart, especially the ground that you're standing on.
Yeah. And dude, Captain America 2 has one of the best opening scenes I've ever seen in a movie.
Captain
Do you
America
remember
2?
how it happens?
Oh yeah, the ship scene.
The ship
Yeah.
scene, man. The ship
Yeah.
scene. You remember that basically
Hydra.
what's his name? Skullbones?
Arey, Crossbones.
Crossbones,
He's in
yeah.
Civil War, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. He's
Yeah,
okay.
so
Yeah.
Crossbones, I'm talking about the actual opening scene. So
Crossbones.
Crossbones jumps with a parachute and Captain America just jumps like that.
Yeah.
It's like basically boss move again.
Too
He
shabby
jumps-
or too scared?
Yeah.
Too busy. Bye.
Yeah. And dude, the cinematography in that actual scene where Captain America is actually running and there's a follow shot.
Oh yeah.
The speed that he's carrying, he's actually calculated how he's going to attack. The enemy is already far away.
Yeah.
So he's very calculated like that. Okay, shield is gone. By the time it hits it, I know what to do with the second guy. So it is such a calculated move that he goes in. It's so precise. I know that I've compared him to Batman previously in terms of the fighting techniques, but still, like, I'm not talking about the actual fighting where Batman is so much more skilled in martial arts. But how much more calculated Captain America is in his fight scenes is what impresses me the most, because he's using the environment around him to his advantage with the shield that he has. Not a lot of characters can do that.
Yeah. Anyway, the next movie was, I think, Thor: The Dark World.
Thor: The Dark World.
Disappointment.
Again, very such a big disappointment. Okay, I'll tell this. Ragnarok is what should have happened in Thor 2 itself. Not
okay.
I mean it in terms of
If you give
Asgard.
me if you give me a replacement for Ragnarok, then I might like say
Yeah,
something.
I'm saying Thor 3 should still exist, but I meant Thor should have evolved much more. Thor did not evolve in Thor 2.
There was
it
no
was
arc.
just like, okay, there's a villain, he is so much powerful, he can destroy everything, like mass destruction, everything, pretty much the same formula. I did not like that at all.
Yeah.
Because in first movie, Thor took such a beating. I did not feel that in him right now. I don't know why Natalie Portman had Ether in it and why she was taken to Asgard and Ether and all this stuff. It's too unnecessary for me. And it was not even much connected to the later storyline also.
Yeah.
It came, those characters came, those villains came, and they just like vanished. Nobody knows that those elves were ever a part of something bigger.
Yeah.
So that way, not a big fan of Thor 2. Yeah.
Not a big fan either. But if I were still to choose one scene, I would say it's a scene where in the castle, these guys have come in and these guys have like, the enemies have come in. I don't remember who the enemies, like, what was the name? I forgot. Anyway, they come in and they wreak havoc and like people are dying. The mother died and Thor comes and then he's like, shit, my mom died. I mean, it's like sudden shock. Like it's the scene where he realizes that his mom's dead. He just stays there.
Freya.
He just like throws his hammer at. He saw the person like hit his mother, and he literally just throws it at the spaceship. The spaceship just goes away, and he just turns and he just signals. He is not moving. He's just signaling, and the hammer just comes to him, but he's just still static.
Yeah.
It's basically shows. Even though, however good you are in your life, however far you've gone in your life, you still would be vulnerable to losing things, especially people. Here, even more specifically, his mother. Because even though Odin passed away in Ragnarok, for like, let's save that for Ragnarok when we talk about it, but he was close to his mother more than he was close to his father. So that loss, immediately that loss was felt. And it was not just felt by Thor, who was there in the scene with
Loki as well.
but Loki
who's
as well.
present.
Yeah, even that shows motherhood is not just by blood, but it is all about nurturing and how you are with. Yeah,
And
that's-
especially how
yeah.
they put the framing also where Freya visits Loki
Yeah.
in his prison and he's like,
Yeah.
have you
It's-
come to look at me and all that. And
Yeah,
he basically ignores her.
Yeah.
So her death also had a lot of impact on Loki, which pretty much made him join with Thor to take revenge on those guys.
Yeah.
But anyway, man, Thor 2 is such a disappointment for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Give me that one scene and go forward without the entire movie
Yeah.
happening. I'm set. I'm
Yeah.
done. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So-
I think the next movie that my phone's dying. Great. The next movie that came out is Ant-Man, Thor, Captain America. Actually, Thor came first, but okay. Guardians, Ant-Man, and Avengers. Okay.
Good lineup now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Guardians of the Galaxy, man, what can I say about it? It's one of my
Should I
favorite
say-
movies of all
Fuck
time.
you. It's my favorite movies. yeah.
Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy, like, I don't know where so much more humor came out of nowhere. I don't know. I like their approach because none of these characters were big enough already in the universe to have their own standalone movies. So they took a very different approach, which I really commend Marvel for doing.
Yeah.
And like everybody accepted Guardians with such open arms.
Hashtag bring back James Gunn.
Hashtag bring back James Gunn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really love that movie, man. Like, there's so much chemistry in the characters. Like, it should not work. Groot and
Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah, Rocket Raccoon, the other guy.
Drax.
Batista, Drax, yeah. All those people. But yeah, but that's the first movie where we got to see outside space. We saw that in Asgard, but we only saw that it exists. But we saw the actual world in this Guardians of the Galaxy. There's Collector, there's like first time Infinity Stones have been mentioned. We saw an Infinity Stone in that movie. There's Ronan, a lot of characters. So I really love that movie, man.
Yeah.
Especially with the humor. It's such a good movie. I had like a blast watching
Yeah.
that movie.
Yeah. So, Hooked on a Feeling, that was my ringtone. Yeah,
Feeling.
that was my ringtone for 2 freaking years. 2 years. That was my ringtone. In college, like everybody would know हाँ कुशल का फोन बज रहा है, कुशल का फोन बज रहा है, दूर से हाँ कुशल यहीं पे है. Yeah, like that was my ringtone for two freaking years. 2
Yeah,
long
and
years.
also with the mystery that they put on with Star-Lord.
Yeah.
It's like, who is his father? Where did he come from? All those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Anyway, such a disappointment to that storyline also.
I kinda
with his
like second
father's
part.
kind of thing.
I like the second part.
But it's not. The first part set huge expectations for part 2, which
Yeah.
was very difficult for him to satisfy anyway.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But
So one scene that you like from the movie.
from the movie,
Yeah.
pretty much the final scene, final battle is what I like the most.
I can't pinpoint one scene.
Yeah, it's difficult with that movie.
Yeah, I can't pinpoint one scene. Like I'm not able to. I'm trying really hard right now, actually, because it's an experience, man. That movie is an experience. What's the scene? What's the scene? What's the scene? Think. Oh God.
I think.
Okay. You go ahead. I'll think by then.
Yeah, it was the final part where they shown that even though each character had their own agenda inside the movie, after that they've spent so much time with each other, they stuck together and pretty much, there was a bond between those characters when the movie ended, because when Star-Lord grabs the Power Stone, everybody, took a part of him and they suffered through that thing to defeat Ronan. So that was one of the biggest thing that I liked from that movie, that okay, like even though they're all criminals and whatever, they're like Rocket Raccoon is chasing like fancy eyes or arms or whatever, like there's money involved and everything, but it's such a good team in such a big universe. And I know that Avengers Infinity was eventually going to happen, but I was much more excited about how these guys are going to play a big role in that movie, which they really did.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what's your favorite scene anyway, man? What's your favorite movie?
I still couldn't do it. But if I were to still pick, I'm actually going back to this one scene, and like when I'm trying to think about it, this is the scene I've gone back to thrice now, even though I'm trying to like scrub through the whole movie, like scroll through the whole movie. It's the scene where they're plotting how they're gonna escape.
Oh, yeah.
It's a stupid scene. Agreed. Everybody points at like individual panels. If everybody just shot at one particular panel, they would have like been there in the jail only. But why I like that scene is because of the characterization. Everybody is doing their own shit.
Yeah.
Like Groot is like Rocket Raccoon's planning, and he's telling them, okay, this is what's gonna happen. Groot is going there in the background.
Became a cultural icon, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, such a big thing. Groot
Who knew a
became
tree
after
would
that.
be that?
Yeah, tree
Tree
that.
huggers.
But he's the unsung hero from that movie.
Yeah, he is.
Yondu.
Oh yeah, of
Yondu.
course. But not that movie though.
Not that movie, but
Yeah.
he
Not the first
he
movie.
played a very important
Yeah,
role.
yeah.
Like I love the character, man. He and his weapon. He had such a good charm. Yeah, it's like such a good characters, man, in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because it was so unusual for us to see those kind of things. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
such a good
so
movie.
it was that scene where, because the escape scene is where everybody's doing what they do. Rocket is planning. Groot is like not really getting into the plan. He's just like wanting to get the battery down. This guy's like, no, wait. Gamorre's is like, I'm gonna kill you and all that. Drax is like, okay, I'm gonna be with you. And and Rocket is just stealing people's eyes and limbs and whatnot. Yeah, I like that scene. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, what's the next movie?
I think the next
Ant-Man?
movie is Antman. Let's go with Antman because Avengers marks the end of every single.
Yeah. Ant-Man, man, such a good movie.
Even though I like the movie, I hate that movie because Edgar Wright didn't get to direct it. I love Edgar Wright.
But
Edgar
here's the
Wright.
thing, man. Like, I thought a lot about this question. Do you think it should have been Hank Pym and not Scott?
It should have been Hank Pym, dude, because his character would be completely different.
Yeah, because I wanted somebody who's on level with Tony.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's okay with Scott because because
it's a good character. Like
He's a good
Hank
character,
Pym is
yeah.
still in that movie.
no, the thing is, Hank Pym's character would have brought in a lot of complexities because Hank Pym is not just Hank Pym. In comics, he's dealing with a lot of other things also. He has split personality. He's having alter egos which have their own superhero strengths and all that. They just do their own. They have their own aliases and all that. It would have just become more complicated that way.
So whatever Hank Pym would have done is already there in terms of technologies,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah.
just like to incorporate humor, they brought in Scott. And everybody. Forgot his name, man. What's his name?
What? Full
the
name?
actor, the actor who played it.
Arey.
He's there in Friends also. How can I forget his name, man?
Paul Rudd.
Huh?
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd, yeah.
Yeah.
And Evangeline Lilly, man.
Yeah, Evangeline Lilly. Lord of the
Dude,
Rings. Lord of the
dude,
Rings.
dude,
Lord of the
dude,
Rings.
dude, dude.
Lord of the
Okay,
Rings,
let's
yeah.
not talk about her. Yeah, such a good humorous movie, man. It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie, and I love Scott's daughter, man. She's so good. She's so cute. She's like,
Not that way.
whatever. Dude, if you had not said that, people would not have imagined.
No,
also.
we were talking about Evangeline Lilly and you were like, I love his daughter, man.
No,
I'm like,
it's
the fuck, bro.
You know the quirkiness that she has. It's like, okay, he threw that.
This is so ugly.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
it.
like her teeth is missing, and like he throws that thing, and suddenly an ant becomes big. She has that ant as a pet. She covers up for his dad whenever he's not supposed to be where he's supposed to be. It's like such a good movie where it's very light-hearted. A lot of people can watch this and like come like, oh, that was a good movie.
Yeah.
Like Ant-Man was that kind of movie.
Yeah.
And like Ant-Man, I know that Scott did not play a big role in everything, but he was a good character in his own. Where he's not like, okay, here's the thing, he does not have an agenda. That's why I think that's why if Tony had come to Ant-Man first, he could have easily gone to Iron Man, but Captain America was the one who actually approached him. So that's, I think, because he just wanted to be a part of something. He's like, oh my god, I'm with the Avengers right now. It's like, that's why, because
Or so-called Avengers.
yeah, also called Avengers. So a lot of characters that were newly like Spider-Man or Ant-Man, all of these guys, they were like, it was about them. They were just a piece of a bigger puzzle, but they were such good characters that they blended in well with everything else. Yeah. Ant-Man also, man. Really good movie. Not a big fan of Ant-Man 2, but I still love the character.
Yeah. Ant-Man.
I still don't like Yellow Jacket much though. I like how they did.
It's a
him.
classic villain.
It's a classic villain. It's like,
yeah, it's nothing great
dude,
about
I
him.
still don't understand why they're doing this, man. Like in every Marvel movie, why do the protagonist and the antagonist have the exact same technology, but one is an evil, one is a good person?
It's basically fighting your own self.
It's basically like fighting your own self. Like Iron Man has an arc reactor, somebody comes and fights him.
There's a bigger theory at play, dude. So usually, how you remember, like in Tom and Jerry, there used to be one good guy and one bad guy, like popping out from the shoulders. So that's basically id and ego, and you are the super ego who's trying to like balance the both. So the movie, when both the characters, the antagonist and the protagonist, when they have the same powers, is essentially trying to question who is better, the guy with the tools or the guy with the means. I mean, the guy with the tools or the guy who actually wants it to be done.
Okay, he's digging too deep.
I mean, yeah, it's basically the same question as does gear matter?
Yeah, like it's more about psychology at this stage now.
So basically, yeah, if you're given a phone camera, if a pro photographer has been given a phone camera and an amateur has been given a 5D, forget 5D sucks. Fuck you, Canon. Yeah. Anyway, if someone has an A7R3 or whatever, still the pro photographer would win, even though he doesn't have a good gadget.
It's about burning desire.
Yeah, it's about who you are as a person. It doesn't matter what tools you have. It doesn't matter what you have at your disposal. All that matters is what you do with it. Like you said yesterday, also I like how Spider-Man says, with great power comes great responsibility.
That's one of the reasons why I like Avengers, because they introduce magic. Magic is such a vague term in itself that you don't know what to expect from them. And that's why when Iron Man was confronted, or Hawkeye was confronted with Loki's, magic, where they possessed him, his mind and everything, they got furious. Because there's nothing that they could have done about it.
They got Nick Furious.
Anyway, that shirt is going to be printed. I am Nick Furious. So I really love where it's like there's so much more conflict when the powers are so much different than one another, because there's a lot of diversity as to how you can confront those things. Yeah, like I'm sure if anytime Hawkeye movie also came out, there's going to be another Arrow person who's like more precise than Hawkeye and has a much more evil background story. I don't want that to happen. I want it to be you know that scene where Hawkeye and Black Widow discuss about their past.
We're still friends, right?
Yeah?
Oh, okay,
We're still
that.
friends, right? And that like how he was supposed to execute of Black Widow, and but then something happens and whatever. So I like that whenever a character is given a particular.
What movie was that in?
This
Age of Ultron.
No, it's not Age of Ultron. I think it's Avengers 1 itself. Yeah, it's Avengers 1.
I think it was Age of Ultron. Never mind.
Yeah. So I like where I don't want the protagonist and the antagonist to have the same path. It's a preference, I guess, but I don't know. It makes a lot of sense also. Like Flash has like Flash villain is also like super speed. Like why are you two guys like running at super speed and like trying to fight off each other? But you remember? Okay, I'm getting a little distracted here, but it's to prove a point. So remember that one DC animated movie where one of the guys goes to Batman's cave and he takes off all the plans that Batman has against each of the member of Justice League as a contingency if they ever became too powerful.
Wait, who goes to his cave?
Change. Okay, so it's an animated movie.
No, I know. I've seen all DC animated movies. I just can't remember which one it is.
I don't know. That character goes invisible. He sits in Batman's car and he enters Batman's cave. Something like that happens.
Mask of Phantasm? No.
I don't know, man. So here's the thing. It's like, okay, forget that character. But here's the thing. Batman had a contingency for every Justice League team member if they ever became too diverted from their original morale and were, basically against humanity. So for Flash, he had something like, he put on a device on him that whenever he stops, it basically explodes.
Or he could just put bananas.
Yeah, so I liked where it... Dude, stop doing bananas here. Like, okay. So it's like, because Flash was not ready to handle this situation in any way, he needed a lot of brain potential to be able to think, okay, like this is something unusual for me. How do I tackle this situation? I want something like that to happen in these movies also, man. It's not like one guy shrinking, the other guy is also shrinking. I'm big, okay, I'm also getting bigger. It's like pretty much the same thing. There's just the weapons are evolving. Yeah, so it's like put diverse characters with diverse powers and then let them see how they battle out each other. Because that's an interesting, okay, because with Flash or whatever the character is, you can get slight ideas. Okay, if I was in his thing, I could have done that. I could have done that, because you know what both the characters' potentials are. But if you don't know what the other person is capable of doing, you're left in a thought. There's a question mark on you. It's like,
but that's the thing, dude. Don't you think it is because when the character has the exact same powers as you do, and he
like both
has
the villain and the hero.
villain and the hero, and he also knows as much as you do, that basically means that you need to learn something much more than what you were, and you need to outgrow yourself. So usually when I was talking about id, ego and super ego and all of that, it's basically that you need to top yourself in order to, I mean, it's a test for the character himself, that is the character going to learn, is he going to leave himself behind and be and do things for the greater good.
Okay, now that you brought this up, I'm going to be okay, I'm going to give you a movie reference which actually did the same thing, but it's a little off topic, kind of. Okay, so remember Superman?
Yeah, Superman also. The
Because
Man of
when
Steel,
General
right?
Zod is
Actually,
like-
I was also gonna give you the same example.
Yeah, because General Zod, when he comes to Earth to defeat Kal-El, is like, okay, I was trained my entire life to be a warrior, to you know, to be the warrior for Krypton and everything. It's like, you're a mere farmer boy. So he's like, he comes out of his suit, he absorbs the sun and everything. So he evolved like that. So you're saying that a hero should have been the person who actually does that. But here's the thing. Once he also leveled up, it was pretty much the same thing where Superman also got like, okay, I need to be much more harder. So it's pretty much the same thing where, you know, it's just about...
But yeah, the thing with Man of Steel was, the movie itself was basically a show of the abilities. Like, yeah, Zod is a warrior, but Superman being Superman, he's Superman. Yeah, so that was kind of shallow that way. But even that movie, at some point, when it came down to the basics, it tried to have a debate on, not debate, but it tried to show that greed, power, and even though you're not that greedy, not that whatever, not that greedy or seeking for vengeance, you're just being patriotic. You just want your own kind to survive, but on the cost of what?
Yeah, and the cost of what is an important question there, because for us it's a movie, but imagine if it's an actual scene where like buildings and everything is being destroyed with such a powerful character. You really don't have the time to think, okay, how can I tackle that? Time is not time is the most precious asset that you have that time. So basically what Superman does is he snaps his neck, which is pretty much against his moral of him not killing anyone. So he snaps.
But did he
Zod's
really
neck.
have a choice? Did he really have a choice?
I think if he really that's the convoluted part of it. Like, I know that if Flash is facing against similar person or whatever, is there a possibility where they can actually send him off in a different way, or end it in a good way which does not you know, conflict his own morals of...
Yeah, which basically they did with the other characters, other Kryptonians.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they put them back to their cryosleep and sent them back to space.
Yeah.
But that's what. Do you really think there could have been another solution to that?
No.
I think there should have been a different solution, because that's how Superman would have been true to his own character. But I also think that this kind of power, I don't think the world was ready for it, and I don't really think, that humanity would be able to keep them like how they keep humans. Because we're literally talking about gods. We're not talking about aliens. We're not talking about people who can be hurt.
And it actually makes sense also if you look at it, because humans are so fragile, and in a moment where everything is happening so fast, he had to think of a larger picture where he just had to end it immediately, and that is the best thing that he could come up with at the moment, and he had the right opportunity where he had you know, a hold of Zod. So
but I think the director, what's his name? What's the director's name, dude?
Anyway.
Yeah. So the director took a major decision letting Superman kill Zod because it's a story for the new world. It's not the same old Superman anymore. So yeah, I mean, let's move over from Superman anyway.
Anyway,
But yeah, I was saying it's always about the larger picture. It's not about who the antagonist is and who the protagonist is. It's about what the antagonist is standing
we
for.
were talking about why they should have different powers and abilities. It should not be the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm saying why it has
because
been
there's
like
more visual diversity on screen. Because
yeah.
when the hero is fighting the villain, you're actually thinking, okay, what can he do? What can he do? There's anticipation there, which is not the case when if both of them have the same power, it's like zapping.
But
zip,
that's
zoop,
what.
zap, zoop.
But that's what Marvel is kind of good when the protagonist and the antagonist have the same powers.
It's
Take
a
for
success
example-
formula for Marvel till
Yeah.
now.
Take for example Antman 3. They're not the same, but it's not a good movie.
But
Take for example
is there,
even
but
Thor
it could
2.
not be the thing that could have made or break the movie also.
Yeah, Thor 2 was also the same. Like different powers, different people, but it didn't really work.
But
Thor,
Ragnarok worked.
But that's the
Ragnarok
thing.
worked.
Ragnarok, they again had the same powers.
Same
They
power,
were
like-
essentially the
yeah,
same
yeah, yeah.
person.
It's like family matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
what
it's
else?
also because, okay, let's leave all that talk for Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's the next movie?
Civil War.
The-
So, I'm I was basically explaining like why. Yeah. So even in Civil War is I think the only movie where like the people are their own selves, but there's no proper
Is that the
antagonist
next
as
movie
such.
though after
No.
Winter Soldier?
Age of Ultron, bruh.
Age of Ultron. Do you like the movie?
That's one of the movies again I've seen only once, not because it's good, but because it's bad.
Okay.
Yeah, theater. I still remember. I walked out of the theaters. I didn't do anything. Just went to the grass. I sat down. What the fuck did I just watch?
Okay. It's a very personal opinion, but I think Age of Ultron was a good Avengers movie. It's not a good movie that fits in well with the entire universe as such, but we saw the characters being much more confident with themselves there. The opening fight scenes was one of my favorites. Fight scenes where Avengers are, the fighting in the snow and where they invade. Iron Man discovers that he's the one. He sees all of his people die and all those things. So that way, when the characters are working in synergy and everything, and when there's Quicksilver is also there in that movie.
Yeah, they killed Quicksilver, man. That was one of my favorite characters from the comics.
But here's the thing, dude. Like, I don't like characters that don't die. I'm not saying like
no, of course that's a very great move by what
it's a very big decision
to
kill a character in his first introductory movie. But anyway, because it leaves a much more impact on the viewer when they're seeing a character. Oh my god, he's such a character, but he died saving a kid. So it's a good death. Maybe they do not have anything bigger in mind for him for Infinity War, so that's a good character to sacrifice.
Yeah, that's what this is exactly why I like the director. I'm forgetting the director's name again. What's the director's name? Avengers director.
I don't know, man.
Russo
brothers.
Not Russo, dude.
Russo brothers. There's someone else. Anyway.
Who left?
Anyway, man, it's fine.
Okay, anyway. So that's why I like this guy and not the Russo brothers, because this guy takes consequences seriously. If a character is dead, he's dead. Same with Coulson. He's like, no, I'm not gonna take Coulson back into the cinematic universe, whatever the case is. Which he did. He stuck to his word. He's like, okay, fine. You want to give him a series? Go ahead. I'll help you direct it, but I'm not gonna take him back.
Yeah, so that's a different thing altogether. But I like that the severity was shown in here, where
That's what I'm
basically
saying.
that
The
entire
director-
island is floating up. So there were consequences. If they let it drop, it'll explode. If they let it go too high, also there's a very bad consequence to it. So a lot of people were working together, like, okay, this is the thing that we need to aim at. Like, Thor is working on it, Iron Man is working on it, everybody on the ground is just trying to evacuate. It's a very good synergy movie that way, where characters. Avengers was Avengers in that movie.
Anyway, what's your favorite scene?
The opening scene, man.
Oh, the opening scene
The
itself.
opening scene, it's one of my favorite scenes. Because
see,
a lot of things are happening there, and it's like camera is moving here and there, Hulk is smashing, Captain America is riding his holidays, like all those things. Iron Man is just figuring out Iron Man shit. How do I enter this thing and all that?
Yeah.
So that way, it's a very good movie. So I like the theatricality of it. Yeah, it's a good entertainment movie.
For me, see, I was disappointed by the movie because like Age of Ultron was one of one of my favorite sagas from the comics. Like, it was destruction, the end of everything. Like, not Ragnarok, but like,
Dude, he took over shield helicarriers also in those things.
Yeah. Basically, he was Ultron. He could have been explored in such a fabulous manner. Like, he was very underplayed. The character was very underplayed. He just wanted to end humanity, that's all. But the reason wasn't justifying what he was doing. So, that way, I didn't really like it. But I would still say all the scenes with Ultron, they were really nice. I would like it. I love it.
Also, this movie also showed the birth of a character.
Yeah, Vision. Yeah.
I like Vision.
Vision's okay.
I mean, he's a bigger part because he has the Mind Stone on his mind, literally. But I like that how Vision is such an integral part of the entire universe. And so Civil War had a lot to do with this movie because they were concerned, should we bring with this Vision to life, because he's a byproduct of Ultron. He's Ultron's creation. Or should we just let it be?
Consequences.
Yeah, consequences. But anyway, he got the conscience of Jarvis. So all those things was really turned out. And also, man, like, Vision lifts off Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
That was one of them. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it's a breathtaking moment where he's like, okay, let's get to work. And Vision is like this, and like Thor is. And everybody's like confused because you remember that scene where Ultron, before Ultron comes, everybody's trying to pick up. It's a classic scene. Like, little things like that, they cannot be ignored because it's such a memorable scene where, you know, it's a party happening, everybody's trying to pick up his own thing. Captain America moves it by an inch and there's sheer moment of panic on Thor's face. So all those things. So a lot of little things like that was really nice.
That's what, like, okay. If I were to choose a scene for its sheer awesomeness, everybody knows what the scene is. It's Antman versus Hulk. Hands down the best scene in the movie. Hands down. But more than that, I liked how Scarlet Witch played around with people's minds, because that basically turned the world upside down again.
Yeah, and Thor went on his own exploration of what the bigger picture was. He sees and Captain, like, she brainfucks everybody, like Scarlet Witch. Captain America is seeing Peggy Carter in his own way, and then Bruce Banner just goes berserk. Iron Man sees the death of the entire Avengers team. All things like that. Yeah, it's nice.
Maybe this Hulk had visions of the 2008 Hulk. You know, like, rampage.
Anyway, man, I really like how they showed Quicksilver also in that movie. Where,
I liked.
But do you like that Quicksilver over Fox's interpretation of
Quicksilver? I like this
Quicksilver
Quicksilver more.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously, I like Fox's even more.
In terms of visual appeal, this one. In terms of visual appeal only.
Visual appeal, seriously.
Yeah.
Dude, did you forget the scene where Quicksilver breaks up Magneto?
Not the approach.
Dude,
the visual
like,
appeal.
Headphones,
that's the approach, obviously.
And like
by visual appeal, by visual appeal, I mean, how will it look to a normal person when he's seeing Quicksilver go? Like, how is he gonna race past you?
But it's that. It's that, but it's it was very unidimensional for the character that way.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the character could have been explored much better way.
So that way. Anyway, so Age of Ultron, it's an okay movie. I wouldn't call it a filler movie because it did play a lot of role in how Tony Stark had to picture like, okay, there's much bigger things at play, and Thor went on his own journey of finding about the Infinity Stones and all that. So
basically, those are events for Civil
War. It marked the beginning of a lot of things that were eventually going to come up. But yeah, good entertainment movie. This is not something that I would watch again though. But whatever.
Yeah.
What's the next one?
Well, this is it. This is the end of phase 2.
Oh man, phase 2. So quickly done. Anyway, like, most memorable movies from phase 2.
Most memorable scenes from the entire phase 2.
No. Most memorable movies are Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay, yeah.
And Ant-Man.
Oh, Winter Soldier, bro.
Winter Soldier also. So in sequence, I would say it is Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Then Winter Soldier, then Ant-Man. What about you?
In terms of how green or how fresh the movie is even right now for me, Guardians of the Galaxy first, Winter Soldier second, Ant-Man third. But in terms of exactly the same. But in terms of what the movie did and like what the experience was right after watching the movie, Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier first.
Dude,
Guardians second.
Remember
and third,
that scene
Ant-Man.
where Captain America confronts Winter Soldier for the first time, where Captain America, Captain America, Falcon, and Black Widow are in the car, and then Winter Soldier comes from behind. He just throws a grenade that comes and sticks to the car. Dude, that sequence is such a boss scene, man. Like, Winter Soldier doesn't give a fuck. He's just like loading his gun. He's just firing. He's so brute force that way, but he's also very quick. So before the time Captain America is able to assess the situation, Winter Soldier is already in front of him charging full speed. It's like it's such iconic scenes, like him hitting the shield and all that. It's like wow. And then he pulls off the mask and he sees Bucky. Who's Bucky? Yeah. A lot of
So what's your favorite scene from the entire phase 2?
I can't say that, man.
No,
that's too much to ask, dude.
No,
that's
it's
like
not.
7 hours or 6 hours, whatever. It's like how can you pick a scene?
Just one scene, top of your head, whatever comes right now.
Winter Soldier confronting Captain America for the first time.
For the first time? Like the shield? Rooftop? After Nick Fury?
No, not that. The car accident scene, basically what I described right
now. Okay.
I wish I could say something from Guardians, but Guardians is more like a lot of 5 or 6 minute clips that had major impact on
We didn't talk about Ant-Man.
Huh?
We spoke about
Ant-Man.
No, but it got cut.
Huh?
It got cut. It didn't record.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh man. Ant-Man.
Anyway, I think Ant-Man came... In the timeline, Ant-Man is parallelly happening with Avengers 2. So yeah, let's talk about Ant-Man. What's your favorite scene from Ant-Man?
Favorite scene from Ant-Man is the first time he gets control of the suit and he's running with ants and everything. So remember when Hank Pym tells him, okay, run and go through that keyhole and then come from the other side. So he's not able to do it. And then Evangeline Lee or Wasp comes and he tells him like, okay, concentrate, make them do this trick and all that. Once he gets control of that, and then he's just like controlling ants and everything. I like the encounter that he has with Falcon also.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like a lot of little memorable things from that movie that way. But the first time he shrunk down was my favorite scene in the prison, where Hank Pym sends his hands to drop the suit and is like, what did just happen? Like, okay, quick, snap it, like get in the ride and like just move. Like, and he gets on Anthony. He gets on Anthony and then he just flies past everybody. It's like, wow.
I think this is where the conversation diverted. You went on about how Yellow Jacket, you didn't really like it, and they had the same path and all that stuff.
I used to give a lot of thought to this. Like, even George R. Martin had commented the same thing. It's like, I don't like where the protagonist and the antagonist have the exact same powers, because it's pretty much the same thing. Spec sheet, evil, good, that's it, done. Just give them a backstory, the motive, why is this person doing the same thing. It's not like it's very unidimensional where you know it's one-on-one, but when there's a lot of diversity in the characters itself, there's a lot of ambiguity that could happen, so there's room for so many more exploration that can be done. Pretty much Thanos is like he came out of nowhere, nobody was ready for him.
Basically.
So that way, Ant-Man was a really good movie, man. Basically what I told, like
that's what, like, I really had wished Edgar Wright directed it, because it's his script, man. He had been... So Ant-Man was actually going to be the first movie that was released in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. There was an entire debate with Marvel and Edgar Wright whether or not Hank Pym should be the Ant-Man or should Scott be the Ant-Man. And Edgar Wright chose that he would go with Scott. I mean, as far as I know, it could be wrong as well. But yeah, he basically took a long time to write the script. And I think if he had directed the script and stuck with the script, it would have been an amazing movie. It's an amazing movie now, but that's because the script was written that way and it was his script. But if he had directed it as well, best Edgar Wright movie.
Anyway, it's like, I'm still happy with what happened with the movie. I know, like, see, we as viewers, we have a lot of expectations from movies, but we should respect the decisions that the people, whoever, what they took. So anyway, that way, it's still a good movie. Like, basically what I was telling is that it's a good Marvel movie where a person who doesn't even know what a superhero is could go watch that movie, have a good time, and come back. You can take your kids to it. It's a light-hearted movie. It's fun. There's humor. There's comedy in it, and it's a good movie. The character is such a lovable character because he's so quirky. He's like,
Yeah.
it's like he's a thief, man. He's like he's rocking one of the coolest suits ever made.
Yeah.
So that way, it's a very nice movie, and I fell in love with the character immediately. Yeah, not a big fan of Ant-Man 2, but whatever. Yeah.
Ant-Man, what's my favorite scene from the movie is probably going to be where all the scenes where his friend is trying to explain what happened and how he figured things out. Like, so this is what happened. Like, I met with this girl and she told me, like, yeah.
I was also going the same thing, man.
Yeah, I don't remember the dialogue, but like,
dude, listen to me. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
and
yeah.
everybody's like, it's a jump scene where like lip sync is there. They're
That
explaining.
is classic Edgar Wright.
That's
I'll
classic,
tell you,
man.
that's classic
that's
Edgar Wright.
beautiful.
Please do Ant-Man
Dude,
3. Please do Ant-Man 3 at least, Edgar Wright.
And do
Please.
it well. And do it well.
Dude, he'll do it well. Of course, he'll do it well.
So it's like such a good thing, man. Even Falcon is talking about a person who shoots spider, like Spider-Man bottom with hands, doing anything. And
The guy who crawls.
Yeah, the guy who crawls. Good movie, man. Such a good movie. I like that character. Where like the team is so tightly in it.
Yeah.
The guy in the van scene, everything. They're like proper thieves, man. They're like thickest thieves.
Yeah.
Good movie that is.
Yeah. So yeah, one defining, okay, let's say not favorite, but one defining scene from the entire phase 2.
Yeah, Captain America confronting Winter Soldier.
Okay. It's still the same.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay.
Because that thing pretty much sets up Civil War, dude. Because Captain America wants to fight for Bucky.
Okay, yeah.
I know there's accords and everything, but so Kobe
I think for
accords.
me it's gonna be Ultron's monologue over you think you're gonna save this world, you think you're gonna have solutions to all the questions you're asking, like whatever he says. I don't remember what he says, but that monologue is like, this guy has researched.
Dude, that voice, man, that voice. I
Andy
was
Serkis.
so happy when they decided that he's the person who's going to voice Ultron. He's like,
Andy Serkis, right?
Yeah?
Andy
No, it's
Serkis.
not Andy Serkis.
Who?
He's the guy from Blacklist.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not Andy Serkis.
okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's the guy from Blacklist. I forgot his name. I really have. I really know his name, but I can't remember it right now. But yeah, such a good voice, man. Yeah. Anyway, phase 2.
Phase
a lot
2.
of new characters, but
Yeah.
a good progression there.
Yeah. I would say phase 2, even though there are really good movies, 3 of the very good movies are from phase 2. But I think they didn't really exactly know what they were doing with it. They were just like, this movie can lead to there and let's just take it from there. Yeah, I think that's what happened. I don't know.
But also, like, Marvel has a lot of things in its pipeline where they know like which movie is going to come at what time. how
Of
is
course,
it
of course.
related to
I
the-
think like till now, whatever has come out
Dude,
has been
like,
decided like 10 years ago.
The first
5
time when
years
they had
ago,
announced at Comic Con, they were like, they had movies in lineup 7 years from now. So it's
Yeah.
like, wow, okay. So, anyway, man, good experience. Cinematic
Yeah.
Universe Phase 2.
Looking forward for Endgame, man.
Yeah, and
2 days to
2
go.
days to go, man. And like,
Shit.
we have to talk about Cinematic Universe Phase 3 and 4.
It's
Yeah.
the beginning of 4, yeah.
Yeah, 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so put it in the comments what your favorite scenes are from all of the movies that we talk about today.
Or one defining scene that you find from the phase 2 which, you really cherish and you would really discuss it with people.
All right. Good talk.
Alright.
See you later, alligators.
And this is Supernacular.
Signing out.